For our next session, I'm thrilled to welcome Christopher Patnoe, Google's Head of Accessibility and Disability Innovation for EMEA. He'll be sharing insights on iterative innovation and the importance of accessibility by design. Please join me in welcoming him.
Pardon me as I open my laptop. We use PowerPoint here, and I'm not allowed to use PowerPoint, so it got very ugly for Is that? All right. We had fun about a half hour ago. So my name is Christopher. I lead accessibility and disability innovation for Google for EMEA. So this means Africa, Middle East, and Europe is my region. I go across all products. I go across all, from lawyers to government officials to end users. So I have a really interesting view of the state of technology. So just a quick bit about myself. You can tell I'm not from here. I was born and raised in California. I'm an ex-opera singer. I realized in my mid-20s I wasn't very good. So I got involved in tech. Fortunately, I was in the Bay Area, so my second gig was at Apple, where I worked on the first iPod, the first iTunes, the towers, and Final Cut Studio. Then I went to Sony Ericsson and made phones. And then I went to Disney and made games. And I've been at Google now for 13 years. And it was here where I discovered accessibility, because my product wasn't accessible. I was the lead technical program manager for Google Play Music. We had a test engineer come into one of our meetings, turned on VoiceOver, and I heard button, 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 button. I see some nodding heads here. Well, I said, well, what's that? And she said, well, this is Google Play Music for someone who's blind. I said, well, that's stupid. How do they use it? Well, they don't. That's why I'm here. And that was my introduction to the space. And I couldn't look away. Within a couple months, I volunteered to take on accessibility for Google Play, and then a year or so after that, I started doing it globally for all of the products. And then come to 2020, I turned 50 and realized I only knew good weather. So I'd move my family to England and really teach them something. But more realistically, I came here to get Google ready for the European Accessibility Act, some really important legislation that came out of the EU, changing the world in really interesting ways. So that's who I am and why I'm here. But why does a company like Google do accessibility? I get this asked all the time. It is actually part of our mission statement, which is to make the world's information universally accessible and useful. I love that. But one of the neat things about being at Google is because we look at this sort of holistically. It's not just the digital stuff on your phone or on your laptop, but it's also the real world. We have information, say, in Google Maps, is there step-free access into a restaurant? Is there an accessible bathroom, accessible parking? If there are hearing loops, we have this information, and through Google Maps, we share it. So we try to take a holistic view of information and share it with people as best as we can. Because disability impacts everyone. According to the WHO, there's 1.3 billion people in the world with a profound disability. And for them, something like a screen reader is life-changing. But then again, there are those people for whom they don't identify with having a disability, either because of stigma or just lack of awareness. And in my case, it was lack of awareness. I'm dyslexic. But until in my mid-40s, I was just rubbish at spelling, always guilty. I write like a 3-year-old. It wasn't a great experience, and my jobs suffered, and my life suffered. But understanding my disability gave me a chance to get the tools and training so that I don't suffer. Friends and family and allies. Think about your friends and your families. If you know someone in a wheelchair, you're not going to go to a place where you have to take if there's no lift, if there's stairs, if there's no ramp. The real world matters to the people you love, and you want to engage in places that actually are thoughtful for the people that you love. So that friends and family is actually a really important part of this world of disability. But the reality of it is every one of us is going to have some kind of temporary, permanent, or even situational disability. Whether it's a bright sunny day, yeah, right. A bright sunny day and bad contrast on your phone, you can't see it. Or if you have a broken arm, you're temporarily one-handed. An experience that someone creates will be, and is thoughtfully designed, will meet you no matter who you are, where you are, or when you are. Because even within that context, sometimes people's needs change throughout the day. So a thoughtfully designed application or experience will provide you what you need. And yes, I'm from Google. Yes, I'm talking about AI. I apologize. You've probably heard an awful lot about it, but it has really meaningful factors in our lives, especially for people in this room. What AI can do, it has the opportunity to enrich the lives of billions. It's not just about making cute pictures of yourself that looks like a doll. It's actually about reading a document like a PDF. But it also can help someone go to school or participate in a video if there's no captions. AI is a building block of technology that can empower people to live a more powerful life. And we try to do this within accessibility at Google because this is where the rubber hits the road. If we can create something that has meaning for someone who's blind or meaning for someone who is deaf, we can create technology that can help everyone. So we use disability as sort of a fire to help create the technologies that we have. And then we have this concept called a curb cut, where you take something like captions that was designed for people who are deaf, and then you apply it into a pub. And if you can see it, you can participate in the game and not have to worry about the noise of 7 different matches going on all at the same time. So this thing that is designed for disability is helpful for everyone through this curb cut concept. And we use this vision of accessibility as a North Star as we try to create a lot of these technologies. Because you can use these technologies, and I'll sort of narrow the focus here into a visual context. You can use AI as part of many different technologies. For example, our screen reader is called TalkBack. And we've integrated an on-device Gemini that can actually tell you what your picture looks like. So you can decide what you want to do with it. Or you can use applications like Lookout or Gemini Live, which I'll talk about in a moment, describe the real world around you. You can read things for you. Or you can just get involved and use the content you have more richly, because these interfaces that are being designed can be really helpful for you. And there's a series of applications I'm going to talk about. I'll show some videos and not some videos because I just realized one of these isn't audio described, so I apologize. I'm not going to show that one, because even we make mistakes. We have a really neat application that we developed called the Pixel Magnifier. It was developed in partnership with RNIB. I hope it's okay to say them out loud. Because they recognize the opportunity with technology, and we have a deep relationship with them. And we've built an application that uses not just the thoughtful camera, but it uses AI. So you can hold up your camera and show it to a menu and say, does anything here have gluten? And it'll highlight and answer the question for you. So you can use this magnifier to tell you if you can eat this or not. And this only came through co-design with the disabled community. These ideas and problem statements come from the community, and together we solve these problems. So one thing I am going to show is sort of where we're going in the future of AI. So we have this really neat model called Gemini. This is sort of our version of ChatGPT. And we've been partnering with the blind community to create what we call a visual interpreter. So we have the ability to take a video, a live stream video from your phone, and ask questions. And what's neat is we are able to start answering questions with a blind context, like describe where something is or how to reach it. So this is super, super early, and I'm excited about this. So I'm going to play a bit of a video. It's a little marketing-ish video, but it gives you a sense of what we are hoping to do.
I remember as a child playing till it got dark outside to make sure I could still play guitar without being able to see. I was diagnosed with retinitis pigmentosa when I was probably about 4 years old. My vision is actively deteriorating, but music has been something that I can continue to do with the closing in of my visual reality. I feel free when I'm playing music. If Project Astra can help me be more independent, it would be, the greatest thing ever. Touring, for example, I love it because I get to go out and go to places I've never been before and meet new people, but it definitely is becoming more difficult.
Hello there.
Hello. Can you tell me what you see in this green room while I scan around?
I see a sign on the wall in the direction you're facing. The sign says Wi-Fi network, the Gray Eagle, and the password is live music.
Thank you very much. can you help me locate a microphone stand?
Sure, I can help with that. Do you mind if I turn on the flashlight?
Yes, please.
I see a wall with several coiled cables, and what look like mic stands towards the top right in the video.
The most powerful thing I can do is to get on stage, pick up my guitar, and play. Helps people understand that there's more than just blind or not blind, disability and ability. If Project Astra could help me along the way, I'm all for it.
So thank you. So this is the opportunity that we have as we move forward with the technology. This video did not have audio description, but because it was designed to not have relevant visual only. So when you were talking about music, you were seeing a guitar. When you were talking about touring, you were on the bus. So I apologize if that was confusing. I didn't mention that before. So there is a wonderful feature. Oop, no, not yet. There's a really neat feature that I'm particularly proud of that we have on our Pixel phones called Guided Frame. What this is, it uses the camera and computer vision and machine learning to describe to you how to take a selfie, giving you real-time feedback in terms of where to move the phone. We're using shapes and colors and vibrations called haptics to empower a person to take a photograph. And this came from a Googler's, we call ourselves Googlers at Google. One of our Googlers' sons who was blind and was a sports kid and was really frustrated that he couldn't take selfies like his friends could. So he challenged us, and we loved it, and we built a really neat thing. So I'm going to show you a video that we've made about this, but this has been, we've had this on our devices for 4 years, and last year we actually made a Super Bowl ad about it because we're so proud of it. So I'll show this.
This video is shown through the perspective of an active individual with low vision. For many people with blindness or low vision, there hasn't always been an easy way to capture daily life. Disclaimer, screen image is simulated, sequence is shortened. Now in a park, a blurry image as a person holds out their phone to take a selfie.
One face cropped. Move your phone down.
Lowers the phone.
One face in frame. Hold for photo.
A clear photo of a bearded man. A blurry image of a man in his kitchen. He stirs a pot and his dog trots over.
Dinner for one. Hello.
He takes a selfie with his dog.
One face and one head in frame.
Another crisp photo.
Look who's here.
The man's girlfriend.
Two faces in frame.
Photos of smiles. A party. A sports event.
Two faces.
Camping.
Good morning.
Two faces.
First day in the new place.
New apartment. Making funny faces. Running a marathon.
Two faces.
She kisses his cheek. Now, the couple is dressed up and the man takes a selfie of them in a mirror using his Google Pixel 8 phone.
Two faces.
More crystal clear photos of his partner. The man navigates through a hospital.
Two faces in frame.
He lowers the phone.
Three faces in frame. Hold for photo.
A sharp, priceless photo of the man and his tired but smiling partner holding a newborn. Capture life, no matter how you experience it. Guided frame, only on Google Pixel. Text, guided frame with Google AI, Google Pixel 8.
So this is another example of the opportunities that we have. And this is a Pixel-only feature, but there's another thing called Gemini Live,
Hey
which is
everyone,
actually...
my name's Mark. So as a
Not yet.
blind guy, I rely on technology every day.
I still have problems with my own tech 13 years later. But again, our AI is called Gemini. And we have a feature called Gemini Live, which provides real-time descriptions of things in live video. And a buddy of mine named Mark here, he is the head of accessibility for Unilever. He used it and offered to share his story.
Whether it's in my job or whether it's simply getting me from A to B, tech has totally transformed my life. So over the past few weeks, I've been having a really good play with Gemini and Gemini Live specifically to see what it can do for me in my everyday life. Now, about 2 days after I started using it, my other half said to me, we need to get a card for my mum. It's her birthday and we haven't been on Moonpig. Now, my other half and I are both blind, so going into a shop and selecting a card is a little bit tricky, although she has a bit more vision than me. But she had to go into London and I was at home and I was left with the task. So I thought I'd take full advantage of that. And I decided to use Gemini Live to go and select the card within the shop. Now, as I was left to it, I decided to go down the route of finding a card, which was a little bit rude, I have to say. So I used Gemini Live in the store, and it told me that the card section, I think, which was called Humor, was over to the left. So I went over to there, and Gemini then told me, or gave me a bit of a flavor as to what cards were around. And I selected a couple of cards. Gemini read them to me. It did make me laugh out loud, actually, in the shop a couple of times. So everybody must have thought I was a bit weird. But then I did select a card, which I will include at the end of this video. But I have to say, my other half's mum was laughing, but my other half definitely wasn't impressed with me. But I took full advantage. Now, it sounds like such a simple task, but I've never been able to do that. I felt like a superhero in many ways, because going into a shop like that and being presented with so many visuals, I've just not done that. I've never been able to see that, and I've never had that experience, certainly laughing at cards in a shop. But Gemini gave me that ability, and I felt incredibly empowered, and I absolutely loved it. And that's just one way that it's been integrated into my life.
So this is an experience that's both on iOS and Android. So if you're not lucky enough to have an Android phone, you can still have access to it. So what I want to do is show you this is real. How much time do I have? I thought I had 30 minutes. Are we good? Oh, good. So I'm going to turn on my phone, turn on Gemini. And then we're going to turn on the screen. What do you see here?
I can see the screen at the front of the...
What do you see now? The Wi-Fi is not very good. Goodness. Yeah, that's always the excuse, right? It's the
Ah, now I see a wider view of the...
Oh. Okay, well, normally when I'm not camera shy, it works much better. It was fine earlier today.
As for the screen, I can see the words
Now it's talking to me. Okay, so what I like to do is I hope that I've sort of shared with you the opportunities of what AI can do. I'm not going to come up here and talk about small molecules, big molecules, and viruses. My goal is to sort of help you understand what can you do with what you have today, and to give you a sense of where things are moving in the future. For me, wearables, this whole concept of leaving your hands free is so powerful, because you've got a cane and a dog, you don't have a third arm. How are we going to actually use the technology? So for me, this form factor difference is so important. So I want to give you a bit of a history and a sense of where things are going. So for example, looking at the past, we at Google had this thing called Google Glass from 2014. And it was ugly. It didn't do a lot. It was like $1,500, but it was also never meant as AT. It was meant to do an awful lot more than what it did, but the technology wasn't right. It wasn't there yet. Our friends at Microsoft invented this really cool thing called HoloLens, which looked even worse than the Google Glass. It is like having a ski mask all over your face all day. And that did not do particularly well in the real world. It was also $3,000. So it didn't do a lot, didn't look great, and also wasn't AT. Today, things are getting a little bit better. But I want to give it a bit of a quick lesson. When it comes to AI, there's sort of two ways of doing this stuff, and we call them on-device or cloud. So something that is on-device, the AI runs on your phone, the latency will be better, and the responses may not be quite as robust. The cloud stuff is exactly what you just saw with me trying to run Gemini Live. If you have problems with Wi-Fi, if there are many things that can go wrong, so you don't want to use that for real-time interaction. Whereas if you're going to be using your phone to read something for you or give you a description of what's happening, you want to have it sooner. So this concept of on-device or cloud is important as you think about what's happening. Also, on-device is also more secure because there's no internet connectivity. So it also means it's cheaper too. So all of these things matter, and you can create or find the solution that meets your needs best. But what you'll end up having is a hybrid situation where some on-device and some cloud. So you're going to hear me talking about on-device, cloud, and hybrid. So today, our friends at Apple have a really great piece of kit called the Apple Vision Pro. It does a bunch of really interesting things, many thoughtful features. It has a great voice interaction model. But this also looks like you're wearing a ski mask on your head, and it's a little heavy. It's also $3,500. It's more expensive than Microsoft's HoloLens. So it doesn't really meet the need of perhaps us here. And its AI is primarily on-device. Our friends at Orcam have a great device that you can attach onto your glasses. This was actually designed as AT. This can help you recognize people, read things. It also has a voice interaction. It's more mainstream because it's just a little thing you attach to glasses, but it doesn't do as much as you would want, especially when it's $4,500. So they need to make money, more power to them, but the product that they have is expensive for what it does for a lot of people. But we're seeing now is our friends at Meta stumbled upon a spectacular product. And yes, I'm a Google guy saying Meta's product is good. It's okay. My badge might work tomorrow. It looks like a pair of glasses that you want to wear. It has the voice interaction. It can describe things for you, and it's affordable. So this, for me, is sort of like day zero of where this interaction mode of wearables and AI starts. And in the future, for me, I want to be able to say, take me to the Tate. Put on the glasses, it'll take me there. Real-time guidance, tell me where the good coffee shop is, not where the bad coffee shop is, and get me there. That's where we're going. It's going to look more like this, like the Ray-Ban glasses than the ski masks that you wear. And that's where we're going. We're going to a part where the design is familiar. The AI will do the right thing based off who you are and where you are. Live description of the world or of the things in front of you, and be more affordable. The challenges we have getting there is primarily physics. It's very difficult to get a battery strong enough and small enough. The compute, you don't want it to have like a sunburn on your head as it's trying to process all this information. Power throughput, all of this stuff is really, really hard, but we're getting there. I'm really excited to see where these things go. And that's where we end, into the future.